Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast, episode number 271, the horrible movie Mike wanted to watch. Mike, how are you today?
Dude, you can't give away that much that quickly, man. Why would they keep listening?
Well, I know you got to go to bed, so I figured we'd just get it out of the way, and then you can go to sleep, because you're old and you need to rest for your dad jokes.
Okay, that's true. I do need to rest to recover and get into my dad joke mood, you know?
Sure. Okay, Mike, so you picked a movie. It is a remake of a movie based on a Stephen King novel called Firestarter. Mike, why don't you give us the rundown for this movie starring Zac Efron?
Okay, I know that's really why we watched it, because you're a big Zac Efron fan.
I am. You know the biggest disappointment I had?
No dancing?
Didn't take off his shirt.
He did take off his shirt.
When?
I don't know.
Exactly. There were no Zac nips, and I was very upset.
Okay, all right. Rundown it is, Matt. So Firestarter 2022 was directed by Keith Thomas. It's based on the movie by the novel by Stephen King. The screenplay was written by Scott Teems. This is starring Zac Efron, Ryan Kira Armstrong, Sidney Lemon, and Michael Greyeyes. And this movie is about a young girl tries to understand how she mysteriously gained the power to set things on fire with her mind.
Spoiler alert, she's an X-Men.
Nice.
All right, Mike, so why did we watch this movie?
I just thought it'd be interesting to see a remake of the movie. I like the first movie, the 1984 version, starring Drew Barrymore. And I just wanted to see how this one would be. I actually didn't know Zac Efron was in it. I just picked this up and was like, hey, it's coming out. Let's go watch it.
The only reason I agreed to it was because of my boy Zac Efron.
Yeah, I know. But I'm sorry there was no shirtless. Next one, dude. Next one. It wasn't like Baywatch, where it's like constantly shirtless Zac Efron.
Yeah, I love that film. That film's amazing. Zac Efron with no shirt, The Rock with no shirt. No one wears clothes in that movie. It's fantastic. The acting, oh my God, it's just so incredible. The story is even better. Like, you've not lived until you've watched Baywatch the movie. I mean, seriously, I don't know how that shit was not nominated for multiple Academy Awards.
Well, if you can't catch Matt's sarcasm there, he's being pretty damn sarcastic. That movie was okay. It had some funny parts in it. The funniest parts were when The Rock and Zac Efron kept trying to one-up each other. It was pretty funny. But
I wouldn't say that movie was okay at all. But Zac Efron and The Rock are the only saving graces, and the beautiful young women. If you put it on mute, except for when Zac Efron or The Rock is on there, it's a much better movie.
Okay, well, Matt, I think we better get back on topic that we never even got onto, which was Firestarter, besides you telling me that you didn't like it. So, Matt, why didn't you like it?
Dude, it's boring. It drags. There's some interesting stuff happening here and there, and then it just drags ass until the end. The end was wonderful. The end was very good. Lots of murder and death and fire.
Okay. Well, I ended up watching the first movie and this movie kind of not back to back, but real close together. And I kind of wanted to critique both of them. And this movie just was not as good. They rushed a lot of stuff. I feel like the storytelling was not very well done. It didn't give you much of a backstory of anybody, really. It was just, hey, we expect you to have seen the other one. This is kind of like that one, but not. Okay, here, go.
I watched half of the other one. I did not get through it all because I've been just super, super busy. I mean, work on top of work on top of other work and then other work. And May is pretty much my month of hell. So I watched half of the original. So I'll go back and I will continue watching the other half of the 1984 Firestarter. But Mike, I will say this. I will say this right now, so I'll stop ranting and I'll stop being a crotchety old man like you expect. See, the reality is you should be the crotchety old man because you're the one with kids. I'm just the asshole.
Yeah, I should be. Yeah, I should be the one, man. I don't know. I'll work on it, dude.
Please do.
Yeah, I'll work.
You're making me look bad here, Mike.
I'll start sitting on the porch and just be like, "Get off my lawn!"
You damn kids, get off my lawn. Yeah, do you even have a porch? Because I don't even have a porch.
No, but I'll build one and I'll just sit out there.
Yeah,
as long as it's approved by the HOA.
Yeah. Does the banjo you're playing have to be approved by the HOA as well?
I think if it's a permanent fixture, yes. So as long as I bring it inside, no.
All right. Cool. All right. So, anyways, Mike, I'll say this: the original 1984, the hour and 20 minutes or whatever I've watched of it so far, I do like it better than the remake. For one reason specifically, it feels a hell of a lot more like a horror movie than this one. The remake really just does not feel like a thriller, doesn't feel like a horror movie, just like you elaborated on. There's not a whole lot of character development. The writing is not as good. The acting, I think, was pretty good, though. I'll say that. Zac Efron and Ryan Kira Armstrong, I think she did a very good job as well. I haven't finished the 1984 one, but the character played by what's his name, Michael Greyeyes, Rainbird. I really liked that addition to the new one, and then I also am kind of disappointed, but I liked him as well. Is Kurtwood Smith from that 70s show or RoboCop? He's a fantastic actor. I would have loved to have seen some more of him in here, but he was in it for like 5 seconds.
I think, Matt, I'm going to get into what you're drinking and stuff so I can talk a little bit more
so you can spoil
about
it
without spoil it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Matt, what are you drinking this fine morning, evening, afternoon?
I'm not drinking anything fancy. I don't have any of the monies. Houses need to close. The market needs to stop slowing down, so no monies, which means I'm celebrating life with the champagne of beers.
Excellent, Matt. We always love the champagne. I am drinking a IPA, go figure. It's called High and Hazy, and it's by Terrapin. It's a Georgia brewery, and it's pretty tasty.
Dude, I seriously would have thought you would have given up on IPAs by now because they're so much more expensive. But there's cheap ones out there, right? Like $1 a beer?
I don't know, man. $1 a beer, I think, is long gone.
Clearly you don't buy High Life then.
Yeah, well, I think $1 a beer for IPAs. Sorry, corrected.
So what you're saying is even with 2 children, you're still more successful than I am. Well,
Matt, we just have our priorities. Yours is always be with the champagne.
It is. I do like. Everybody thinks it's weird, but I do like. The Miller High Life, the champagne of beers, the Champagne. Do you know it'd be really weird if you did a mimosa with a champagne of beer? Ugh. What would you call it?
I don't know, man. What would you call that?
Beer mosa?
I think you just call it Saturday morning.
Or Sunday. Or Wednesday. No, Wednesday's Captain Crunch and Miller High Life.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, Mike, so we now need to talk about... It's very fitting for this movie, though. It's very, very fitting, this next segment. That just popped into my head. Mike, if you and your daughter were on the run and she was lighting everything on fire, what dad joke would you tell her?
I got dad jokes. I don't think they understand, though. Gotta think I'm funny. Other people never laugh, though. Dad jokes.
All right, Matt. That's a great segue. When is a car not a car?
When it has a frunk?
When it turns into the garage.
Oh. Okay. All right. What if you don't have to turn? What if you just have to go straight?
I don't know, man.
It's not the same. It doesn't work then, huh?
It's not. No, it's not the same.
All right, Mike. Most important question of the podcast. How does the 2022 film Firestarter, the remake, relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
All right, Matt. This one was a pretty easy one. One of our stars, Ryan Kira Armstrong, was also in Black Widow. She played the young Antonia.
Nice. That's cool. I had no clue. But, it's kind of hard with child actors because they grow up. But, yeah, no.
Yeah, they change all the time.
Dude, she did a fantastic job. Although that's one to talk about the original Firestarter. Drew Barrymore still looks very much like she did when she was a kid. She's just taller now. She still looks very much like her.
She's just bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and one thing I haven't talked about this much because it always has kind of bothered me with Drew Barrymore, but Drew Barrymore has always reminded me of my older sister, and I don't know why. I mean, she's short, she's blonde. They both seem like they have the same kind of attitude in a lot of ways, especially in the films. Well, anyways, Mike, how do you think Drew Barrymore's fans felt that she went from such a heartfelt, loving, great film as E.T. to her next movie being Firestarter?
Hey, you take work when you can get it. In fact, E.T. probably led her to this role where she became even, like the starring role and everybody knew who she was, So I would say they were okay with it. And, to allude what you were saying earlier, Matt, the new Firestarter, the 2022, just didn't really feel like a horror movie.
No.
And the second one, or the first one, the Firestarter 1984, did. Like, it kind of builds up. It gets kind of like creepy and stuff. And there was so much better character development. So you're more invested in kind of the story, I feel like. I don't know. There were aspects of the new one I liked with some of the, like, the Charlie character played by Ryan Kara Armstrong was when it got to the very end with the vengeful part, man, she was, whew. But there were just other things that I just didn't feel like it didn't. We didn't know who the group was that was chasing him. We just, there was just not a lot of stuff explained, man. It's like, it seemed like a lot of the movie got cut up or they just, I don't know, didn't have a budget. Maybe the too much CG fire stuff. Like in the first movie, in 1984, there was no CG, so it was all practical, but at the same time, it was all practical, so sometimes it looked a little weird. Like, Matt, I know you haven't gotten there, but at the end, there's a part where all these people are on fire, and they all look like they have fire suits on, because they
Spoilers.
do. But
Jesus, Mike.
Yeah, but we are in the spoiler section.
I know, but I haven't watched it yet, damn it. I'm just messing with you.
Well, you have. You just haven't seen it in a long time. They go from wearing these suits and and then all of a sudden they're on fire and they got all this gear on. It's noticeable to me. It was noticeable, but anyway, I don't know. I liked some of the stuff they did with the new fire for when she would kind of eject fire out of her person. But I just felt like this movie didn't have that buildup of why they're running, and it wasn't scary. They didn't focus on as much stuff like, hey, this girl could be a nuclear weapon. I don't know. It just didn't have that. It was different.
Yeah. Well, and one, again, I haven't watched the whole thing. One that I have to say that the new one didn't have was the development of the character. Well, character development overall, but specifically the leader of the group that's going after Andy and Charlie. Martin Sheen plays the leader of that group in the 1984 film, and he is in that movie a lot. Gloria Rubin plays Captain Hollister, and she's in like the end when everything goes to shit, and she pops up every now and then, but it's not like the 84 film where, you know, she interacts with Charlie and everything gets, you know what I mean.
Yeah. One thing I did like in this new one was they, you know, with the invention of cell phones and all the tracking and internet and stuff, it was interesting that they had Charlie and Andy and Vicky, the family. They didn't have the internet, they didn't have computers, and they didn't have cell phones. I thought that was really smart if they didn't want to be, you know, tracked. Of course, we didn't really know why they were being tracked because none of that was really explained, but and I thought it was such a cop-out in the beginning credit roll to do the experiment stuff.
That's where they try to explain it in like a rush.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I felt like that, like, you still could have done it kind of quick, but I felt like it was kind of a terrible way to just do it with like a voiceover and some like flashy thing. Like, it was just not great.
Do you know one that bothered me that I mean, I understand why they did it, but I don't think it was needed, was the kid bullying Charlie in class because she didn't have Wi-Fi and because she's doesn't have Google and she doesn't know all this stuff, and the kid's bullying her. Granted, they're trying to show that when she gets emotional, she doesn't know how to control her powers, and so they come out specifically with anger. I understand that's what they're trying to do, but they kind of kept writing that bullying thing. Like later on in the movie, you see these other kids, which I don't know if she knew them or not, and they roll up and like encircle her on their bikes, and they're being mean to her for like literally no reason whatsoever. And I'm just like, why does this keep happening in this movie? We understand, as moviegoers, we understand bullying is not good. You and I were bullied when we were growing up. Everybody was bullied when they were growing up. It's just a fact. We get it. Holy shit, stop shoving it down our throats.
Yeah, it was a little weird with the bicycle scene, man. That was strange. Like, I was like, what is going on here? Like, that's not how normal people behave. Like, that was weird, man. Like, seemed very out of place.
Honestly, the kids would have just kept going. They wouldn't have given a crap unless they knew her. If they knew her, then maybe they would stop and do that shit.
Well, and, you know, that might have been one of those things where, like, maybe those kids were in other parts of the movie, but it got cut, so we didn't know that. So then that makes that scene really weird.
Good call.
Yeah. So it had things like that. I like some of the stuff they did with this where the Rainbird character, Michael Grey Eyes, is also like enhanced or whatever, like whatever the Lot 6 recipient.
Yeah, he was one of the people they experimented on. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Like, I thought that worked out well because that would explain why he was so good at doing stuff. But like, it was interesting to see that he was working for the bad guys. Why would you do that? And he kind of explains it, but
he's one of the additions that I really enjoyed in the film because he's not, as far as I could tell, granted, still working on it. In the original, the 1984, I guess he's kind of supposed to be that janitor guy that keeps coming in, maybe, but he's not powered. But what I like about it, granted, I'm sure they did this on purpose, casting a Native American, is that he starts realizing how powerful she is and how she's more of like a living god than she is like him, where he was experimented on, and this is a result where she was born this way. And so, not to spoil the end completely, I think that's why at the end you start seeing him literally physically bowing down to her and almost giving himself over to Charlie as like her servant, because he realizes, you know, this is something that's special. This should be worshipped. I should be helping this thing, not trying to eradicate this thing. Granted, that's just where I went in my head. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it was it was that kind of thing. He definitely recognized her massive power, and was even there's spoilers. There's a part where he pretty much says, you can kill me because I killed your mom, and she decides not to, which was interesting. And then they kind of meet up, a few minutes later.
The end.
Yeah, the end. This movie was an hour and 30 minutes, and I felt like it just didn't. The story part that we always harp on, man, it just didn't get the story across. Like,
Nope.
I feel like if I hadn't watched the first one before I watched this one, I probably would have been lost, because the first one explained a bunch of stuff that this one didn't explain at all.
I wasn't lost watching it. I watched it with my family. I saw it in the theaters. I know you watched it on the old Peacock. Cock.
Yes. This movie did come out simultaneously on streaming and on theater, and it was just a little bit more convenient for me to stay home, so I did.
I saw it Saturday morning-ish before the Rattlers game with my sister, brother-in-law, and her clients at the Metro Center Mall, which is defunct except for Harkins, and it's really cheap there, no matter what time of day, because nobody wants to go anywhere near Metro Center right now, because I guess it's scary. But anyways, whatever. It was cool. I like the fire effects and stuff in the theater. Again, I think the acting was good. I think Zac Efron did a really good job. I think Ryan Kira Armstrong did a very good job. Michael Greyes, everyone did a very good job in the acting, in my opinion. But like you alluded to earlier, Mike, it's all about the story. And if the story's shit, the movie's shit. It just is.
Yeah, so it just wasn't that great. I did kind of Zac Efron's take on the character's power thing was, a little interesting. Like, he would bleed from his eyes instead of his nose, and he would crack his neck. I thought that was cool. That was different.
It was kind of annoying after a while when he would crack his neck and you're like, oh, it's on. His power's on. But I mean, it was the physical showing that that's how he would manifest his power.
Yeah, well, in the 1984 Firestarter, he would hold his head.
Right. Yeah, he'd hold his temples, right?
Yeah, and then he'd look at you real hard, because it's what they had to do.
And it was
look
wah,
hard.
Wah, 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 wah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times, man. Good times. So yeah, I watched half of it. I'm telling you, and that half I've enjoyed. It's good.
All right. Let's see, Matt. I don't know if I can talk about much more. What?
I don't think you can either, Mike. So I think you should tell me how many reels, you give Firestarter 2022.
I'm gonna give Firestarter 2022 2.5 reels.
Wow. All right, Mike. Well, I clearly didn't enjoy this movie as much as you. I only give it 2 reels.
Oh wow, man.
What about the 1984 one? Even though I'm not going to put it in the show notes or anything. I don't even think anybody reads those things. I don't even know why I do that crap. I spend 2 hours writing fucking show notes and nobody ever reads it. I swear to God. Anyways, I'm going to stop ranting. I'm turning into you.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. The first one, I think I'll give 3.5 reels, man. It was a lot better movie overall. I don't know. I just like the buildup of it and the finale, and I don't know. It felt more like a horror movie, which is supposed to.
Yeah, it's a Stephen King novel. I mean, Stephen King, yes, not all of his novels are horror movies, but a large majority of them are horror or thriller. This didn't feel like either. I mean, it kind of was. Could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, so what movie are we going to review for next week?
Matt, we were talking about this over text yesterday or the day before. Yeah. Aren't we gonna do the original?
It's my pick, Mike. It's my pick, damn it, and I want Top Gun the original.
Yeah. We're gonna do Top Gun the original because the week after that is Top Gun Maverick, and we're gonna review that because we just want to go see that movie.
Yeah, we're gonna have 2 Top Gun movies in 2 weeks. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
Yep.
Highway to the Danger Zone, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was so funny today on the radio. After I announced what movie we're going to watch for next week, She played that on the radio.
That's awesome. That's really
It was
funny.
so good. I was like, yes, Lisa, you nailed it.
Did you get on your motorcycle and then just hold up your arm like randomly?
I got in my minivan and sped away, holding my arm out the window. The shaggin' wagon.
Yeah. Did you point some lasers at those airplanes? You're like, hey, see me.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me. No, there's no airplanes. Although we're probably going to have some more soon because there's supposedly another fire that started in Cordis. So good times. Fire season is here, man. It's only freaking the middle of May and we've already had our second fire. It's going to be a long freaking summer, dude.
Oh, man. Well, I guess on that note, Matt, we're gonna watch some Goose and Maverick, Iceman, and I guess we'll let everyone go. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next pod. Make sure to go out there, stream a movie, or go to the theater. And thanks again.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.
Matt Henshaw from the Real Film Nerds podcast joining me in studio this morning on Magic 99.1. Hiya there, Maddie.
Good morning, Lisa Woods.
Lisa, golf reference. I got it.
Yep.
I got it. Yeah, I did play twice in 3 days. So, yeah, I mean, if I kept up that, maybe I would play like Tiger Woods. I don't know. Maybe, possibly, probably not.
I was going to go with Lisa Palmer, but I figured people wouldn't
No.
catch that as easy as Woods.
Yeah,
So.
who's that?
Exactly. I know.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. Are you ready to review a movie for us?
No, I'm tired.
You're always tired, Matt.
Well,
You're a young man. What's the problem?
I work too much and I sleep too little.
Well,
That's the problem.
you know
I know
what?
the problem.
Figure
I just
that
gotta
out.
figure it.
Figure that out.
I was in Phoenix. Our Rattlers won.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I heard the Wranglers won too.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, by the way, guys, coming up on Wednesday, it's Wrangler Wednesday. Going to give you a shot at winning some tickets to this coming Saturday's Naz Wrangler game. So keep listening. But anyway, sorry, that's what I do for a living.
No,
you know?
it's all good. I don't know who they're playing. We're playing, I got to go to Phoenix again. I'm not sure who we're playing,
Yeah.
but we're playing the team that spanked us in the, not spanked us, but beat us in the championship, the Massachusetts Pirates.
Right.
We beat them by over 30 points on Saturday.
Wow, nice
so
job.
it was a nice little payback.
Yes, well, did better than our Phoenix Suns did, but we're not here to talk about
Okay,
sports.
all right. I know you love
We're
your sports.
here to talk about movies. Tell me, what'd you think of Firestarter?
And we don't want to talk about the Suns anyways. 'Cause,
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
We'll all cry.
We'll all cry. Yep. What'd you think of Firestarter?
We can go back to talking about sports because it's more entertaining than this movie.
Really, it was bad. Now it's a remake, right?
It's a remake of the 1984
Okay.
original.
With
and
Drew Barrymore.
based on a novel by Stephen King.
Okay.
It wasn't terrible, but it was lackluster,
Yeah.
if you ask me. I think it's because we have so many superhero movies and so many interesting, better things out there that do people that have powers better,
Right.
that it was just kind of blah.
Yeah.
But it's not just like how they told the story, it's the film itself. Like a lot of it was just dragged. Like the end was really spectacular and entertaining and good.
Yeah.
Revengey, but like throughout it's just like drags. It just drags.
Gosh.
I do think Zac Efron, who plays the dad, did a very, very good job. And I
Okay.
think the young actress who plays Charlie, which is Drew Barrymore's character in the original,
Right.
Ryan Kira Armstrong, I think she did a very, very good job.
Good.
But outside of that, there's not a whole lot of redeeming qualities in this film.
Okay.
It's currently streaming on Peacock and it's in the theaters. I saw it in the theaters because I went with family. Don't recommend it. If you're going to watch it on Peacock. Watch the original before or after it. I didn't get all the way through it. I only watched half of it.
Of the original.
Yeah. It's not super great either, but again, it's 80s.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, and they had a killer cast in it. They had a really good cast in it.
Yeah.
Martin Sheen's in the original.
Wow. Amazing.
So I want to finish up the rest of it before I give a full which one's better, but
Okay.
I'm leaning towards the original.
Okay. How many reels you going to give this one?
I'm generous with a 2.
Generous with a 2.
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever given anything on this show a 2 before.
Maybe not. I don't know.
don't
There's
think
been some rough stuff in the
yeah,
past.
there are
but
lots of 3s and 3.5s, but never a 2. You're right in line with Rotten Tomatoes, 13%. 62% of Google users liked the movie, so you're right there with them.
I'm in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
mean, don't waste your time.
Don't waste your I won't. I'm going to give Ma Hinshaw a call. Let's see what she thinks about Firestarter, the remake, coming up on Magic.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ma Hinshaw. Lisa and your son, your favorite son, Matt Hinshaw, calling you this morning on Magic. How you doing?
Sad. I'm sad. My son's lost.
I know. Can you believe it? Not only did they lose, they got cremated.
Absolutely. It was awful.
I watched the very last quarter and that was it. And I sat there in shock, Ma Hinshaw. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I mean, I couldn't, and I was suffering. Oh.
All right. Well, at least you did see a movie this past week. I hope you liked it. What'd you think of Firestarter?
I liked it. I wouldn't call it terribly scary. I would call it creepy.
Creepy. Okay.
That's my term for it.
Creepy. Did you see the original, Ma?
Yes, I did, but heavens, I don't. Gee, that was like 84 or something with Drew Barrymore. I don't remember a whole lot of it, but,
right.
This was good. It was good, but if you want something where you're scared and jump and all that stuff, no, it wasn't that scary.
Okay.
To me.
Very good. Tell me, did Zac Efron take off his shirt during the movie, Ma Hinshaw?
I don't remember it.
Okay, she doesn't remember it.
I don't think so.
All right, you probably would remember it if it happened. Were there any snores in the movie, Ma Hinshaw?
2, and it was me.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was going to say, he might have, and she just slept through that part.
Yeah, do you remember, Matt?
No, I don't remember him taking off his shirt.
Okay,
no.
okay. I have to ask
I
these
don't
questions.
either.
I know.
No.
People want to know. People want to know. Okay, how many cookies you giving it, Ma?
I'll give it 3.
3 cookies. That's better than Matt.
Yeah.
He gave it 2 reels.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, it was good, but not scary, like Friday the 13th or something.
Right. Right. And did you see it on Peacock or in the theater?
Peacock.
Peacock. Okay, that's what Matt recommended. He said, don't go and spend money on this movie.
Nope. Not at all.
Even though he did.
Yeah, he did for sure. Well, thank you, Ma Hinshaw. We always love hearing from ya in the morning.
I enjoy hearing from you, and I will never eat barbecue again. And no, I can't say that, but I can't believe your trivia question.
I know. I couldn't believe it either, Ma. I'm going to make Scott Dandos really clean that grill when he gets home. But you have
Yes, I will tell my husband to do the same.
Perfect. Matt, say hi to your mother, will you?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, sweetie.
Have a great day, Ma Hinshaw.
You too on Magic 99.1.
Thank you, sweetie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So what movie are we going to review next, Matt Hinshaw?
You have her trained like a monkey.
Well, I love her. I love her.
All right, so I know you've seen this one.
Yeah.
It is my pick. I want to get ready for the movie that I've been anticipating for years.
Oh, you're going to see the old Top
We're
Gun.
going to watch the original Top Gun.
Okay, let's do it. Let's watch the original.
And now, for those of you who are not like me that love this movie and own it,
I own it.
it's currently on Netflix.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yes.
then I don't have to dig out the DVD
No,
player.
you don't.
Okay.
No, you don't. And
All
it'll
right.
play in probably HD. I don't know, maybe 4K too. I don't know if they remastered it.
Okay. Very good.
but-
We will watch the old Top Gun, getting ready for the new Top Gun, which comes out on what day, Matt?
But May 27th.
May
It's the
27th.
following week. Yeah. So
Okay.
we're going to have 2 weeks of airplanes and Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer.
Fantastic.
And awesomeness.
All right, very good. Catch the podcast, everybody. It's called The Real Film Nerds. Maddie, thank you for coming in and hanging out with me this morning on Magic.
It's my pleasure.
It really is.